In this tutorial, I'm going to demonstrate how you construct the top view of a 2D version of the car, but it's just the base of the car. So that's where the frame is, where the wheels are situated, and where your axles are. This will be universally similar amongst all students. However, when you go to construct your front view and your side view, that will differ depending on the style of car that you wish to create. Okay, and then after I've completed this top view, I'm going to demonstrate how to design it in a three-dimensional space. Okay, if you recall, one of the first things you have to do is go on your units and make sure you have millimeters selected. So we'll type in units. This is in inches. I want this to be millimeters, and precision should be 1 decimal point. Okay. All right, and then we want to grab our polyline tool. You can use your line tool if you like, it doesn't really matter. They both create the same result at the end. And you can click anywhere. I suggest zooming out a little bit. Now, before we get started, there needs to be some sort of reference point. You've done your thumbnails. It's advisable to do a diagram that shows how the base of the car looks, just as something to look at. Now I'm going to slide over to another screen so that you can see what I'm referring to. So this student has devised a sketch, and it shows the dimensions of the wood structure, his axles, and his wheels. So for him, it's going to be 10 millimeters across, and that is the width of the wood that's provided, and then 180 millimeters in height. And then this comes down to approximately, I think it worked out to 20 millimeters when I did the math in terms of measuring. So we'll say that's 20. So let's go back to AutoCAD. We've got our polyline tool selected. Click anywhere. And we're going to go up 180. Oh, I didn't zoom out quite enough, so I'm going to exit out of there. And okay. I'm actually going to delete this because it's a little too close. Now that I've zoomed out, it's too close to where I started. So grab this. Okay. Make sure ortho mode is selected so that you get a nice straight line. 180. And then it's 10 millimeters across. And it's 20 millimeters down. Now the total length is 250 millimeters. So you have to remove the sides. So if the sides are 10 and 10, it's going to be 250 subtracting 20. So we want 230 across. So 230. And then we go up 20 across 10. And now we come back down 180. Across 10, up 20, 230, down 20, and across 10. Hit spacebar to close it. Okay, so now we have a shell. It's actually going to be hollow on the inside. So we need to define the width of these wood segments so that we can see that it's hollow on the inside. In this case, probably the best bet is just to come down here, 10, come across 230, and then up 10. And then you can simply trim it using, on a Mac, they look like scissors, the trim tool, and clean up the edges that way. So we grab the polyline tool, we repeat this step, up 10, across 230, and down 10. Spacebar, and trim. Okay, and then the last command is not what I want. That's the trim tool, so I had to select the tool again because spacebar allows you to select the last. So if I hit spacebar again, I can click here and I don't have to select polyline up there. Okay, so now that we have this structure, we want to figure out where the um, axles will be located. So if I slide over here, it looks like it is, if this is inset by 10, and the halfway point here is 20, it would be 10 plus 20. So let's go back to AutoCAD, get our polyline tool, and move this over by 30, and come up, and you can trim it or just stop it here. And we can trim that point here as well. It's not needed anymore. So that's the first axle. And then we can come over here, come across 30 and up and trim. Okay, now we want to determine how large the wheels are. So, and the other thing we can actually do, if this is 5 millimeters across, before we jump into doing the wheels, we can make the thickness of the axle as well. Now you want it even on both sides. So remember, this is when this is when offset is actually really useful. So if you select your offset tool and you put 2.5 and you click here and you bring it over, and then you click here and you bring it to the left, whoops. If that happens, just zoom in. It's something to do with the how far away you are. Now that I'm zoomed in, it'll work. It's a funny feature. I don't know if it's a Mac issue, but it does do that. Okay, so I'm going to zoom out. I probably have to trim some of the extra ones that accidentally landed there. I can click here, bring this over, and bring this over. No, gotta zoom in again. There we go. Okay, and then we use our trim tool to get rid of that center point. And I suspect we have some overlays here. Yeah, 1, 2, 1, 2. I think I did it 3 times. Similarly. Okay, so that's done. Now we can add our wheels. So jumping back to this other diagram here, the wheels are 40 millimeters in height, and they're actually 16 millimeters in depth. Sorry, I said height. 40 millimeters in width, 16 millimeters in depth. So let's go back here. Now we want to, I should have kept the middle line before I did that. Okay, I'm actually going to undo this because the middle line allows you to draw. Yeah, we'll clean that out later. The middle line gives you a point to draw from, so we'll delete the other ones later. So if I come out from here and I put in 20, and I come down 16, and I come across 40, and up 16, and close it at 20. So that's the first wheel. Now we want to repeat this on this side. So across 20, down 16, across 40, up 16, and close it at 20, or just type 20 or close it. Hit spacebar, and we'll repeat it again over here. 20, 16, 40, and you can always fast forward through these parts if you've got the hang of it. Last one. 20, 16, 40, 16. You can see how important it is to have ortho mode on, because you're working so quickly, it's easy to make a crooked line. So definitely make sure that is on. Now we can trim out these excess lines. And remember, there's extra ones as well to clear out in my case, not yours, maybe. Okay, if we take a look at this diagram, I think we've covered the basics here. So we have our top view completed, and now we can move forward to copying it and making a 3D version of it.